Boom. Hey guys, how are you? It is Kurt with Manana Nomas, and making good on this. I'm coming to you live again. Today is June 21st, and today's title of the video was, blessings. Acknowledge them and be grateful. Sometimes we can catch ourselves being in this weird space where nothing's good enough, we can't catch a break, we're not good enough, people aren't good enough, nothing's good enough. Being transparent, I'm sure you picked that up in my other live the other day, talking about how I took my truck in for service. It was to do a repair, a big repair. And let's be real, I didn't want to work on it, even though I know how. I have friends that know how, and they didn't want to work on it. So I took it to a shop to pay a professional to do the head gasket in this, 7.3 liter giant diesel van. And you know what? I know the job's a pain in the butt, but I'm also paying retail to have it done. Okay. So, I came to you guys on the live and I was just kind of moaning and groaning about the experience and how I feel like I'm being treated by the shop, and how, it's been 5 months and now it's done, but now it's $2,500 more than I thought it would be, and all those things. And if we're not careful, we can end up in that spiral for a long time, and we have to work hard to pull ourselves out of that. And you know what? I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to me on this one. I got a phone call today. So I'm in the middle of doing a Power Sport Academy training session. Those of you that may not be aware, I have an academy. It's called Power Sport Academy. I help motorcycle dealerships improve their parts and labor sales through training online and through live coaching calls. So I'm in a live coaching call and the phone rings and it's my daughter. And I'm like, do I turn the ringer off and put the phone down and continue the meeting? Or do I realize my daughter doesn't usually call me, especially early in the morning when I'm doing one of these calls? So I pick up the phone and I said, hey, sweetie, can I call you right back? What's up? And then she goes, I had an accident. Folks, that's one of the calls as a parent is coming someday. It's coming. I mean, all new drivers sooner or later are going to have an accident, but you dread the call. So then she says, I was hit from behind and I got pushed into the car in front of me, and then that car got pushed into the car in front of it. What are you thinking? You hear me say that. You hear me go, I got hit from behind, I got pushed into the car in front of me, and then that car got pushed in the car in front of it. Immediately I'm going, you're in a multi-car, 4-car accident, and you're number 2, and you pushed into 2 other cars. I'm thinking, well, the car's totaled. Thank goodness we just paid insurance for another year on it. And I'm thinking it's total. I mean, it's just going to be a mess. I said, are you hurt? I got this, my knee hurts. I think I hurt my knee on the steering wheel, but I think I'm okay. I go, well, is the car even drivable? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. I don't, these are the calls you dread. And like I said, I'm in a coaching call. So she said other people were still there. Someone had called the police and they were waiting for the police to get there and they were exchanging information. I said, okay, great. Do that. Be mature. You're 18, be an adult. You sound okay. Yeah, my knee just hurts. Everything else is fine. Okay. Exchange the information, take pictures of the cars, and make yourself a video note of what your version is that happened. Well, the person in the back of all this, the one that caused the accident, they drove away. They didn't stick around for the police. They drove away. So now there's 3 cars on the side of the road and waiting for the police, exchanging information, doing their thing. I'm off the phone. I said, I'll call you back in 10 minutes. I got to finish my training call. I finished my training call, and you can imagine, folks, I mean, these are the calls you don't want. Is my baby girl all right? Did she get hurt? Is the adrenaline taking over? Maybe she doesn't feel the pain from the injury. What's going on? You just start thinking all these things. Folks, she got home with this car. If she never would have told me that she was in an accident, I never would have known. There's little dots in the bumper, like one of those proximity alerts, that go in the new cars, tell you like beep, 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 you're getting close to something. Those little round dots. There's little round impressions in the back bumper. And on the front bumper, there's a little cut in the bumper fascia, and it popped out on the headlight just a little bit. And those are like friction clips to put in. So I just pushed on it and it went click, 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 and it pushed right back into place. It's a Honda Civic. It's an older Honda Civic. I drove the car. The car drives fine. I popped the hood. The hood opens straight. There's no signs of cracking in any of the paint, like in the frame spars or any of that. Nothing's wrong. See, that's what I'm talking about. We need to acknowledge the blessings and recognize the blessings and be grateful for the blessings when we get them. Life's full of a lot of speed bumps. Life is full of things that could be a whole lot worse. And sometimes, if you're a believer like me, you're like, well, God had angels, on that car. God protected my daughter. And we're not really in a great financial position to just start buying new cars to replace cars when people have accidents. So, this worked out really well. We had just paid the insurance for another year on the car. All the cars are now insured for the next year. Everything's paid for. There's no car payments. And so I don't carry a lot of insurance on these things because realistically, they're just possessions and they can all be replaced. That's the way I think of it. And the idea that it could have been so much worse than it was, the idea that, we could have had a serious injury on our hands. We could have had death on our hands. We could have had charges on us. Like, God forbid, I know she doesn't do this, but what if she was 18 and she had, a champagne breakfast with her friends and wrecked the car drunk? That would be a whole different story now, wouldn't it? And so what I want to communicate is life is full of speed bumps. Life is full of ups and downs. Life is full of obstacles. And just like I said for years in those lives, we got to find the opportunities within the obstacles, the opportunities within the obstacles. Just as I had said that so many times, we have to recognize that, even in the midst of mayhem and chaos and stupidity, there's still that opportunity to see the blessing and go, we were taken care of. Provision, protection. We were taken care of. Is it a hassle? Yeah, it's a hassle. Life is full of hassles. We're in a fallen, crazy world. But in a 4-car, multi-car accident, rear-ended and catapulted into the car in front of her, she's got next to zero for damage in a car that's not worth very much. And she's got no injuries. She's got a bruise on her knee. A bruise. This kid's a figure skater. She's used to bruises on her knees. So I feel extremely blessed. I'm having a giant web project migrated from a database, migrated from an old site to a new site. And I'm using some offshore help for that. That's been provided for by my contract holder because I'm a contractor on this job. And it didn't go quite as planned. Part of me wants to bellyache about that and talk about the speed bumps of life and how nothing ever works out. But the other part of me has to be realistic and go, it's still going to get done on time. It's still going to work. I'm being taken care of again. And it's not costing me extra money. It's not money out of my pocket because this guy ran into a problem. This guy ran into a problem. He's fixing it. It'll get taken care of. And I think that that's almost like just life lessons that have come up on me very, very late in life. I used to be very high strung. And when something wouldn't go right, man, I would just freak out. And now I'm like, you know what? God's got it. It's going to work out in the end anyway. We just got to get through the speed bumps. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And that's the way I feel. That's the way I feel with a lot of things right now. I feel like there's chaos and mayhem and stupidity and all this stuff, incompetence, and we all just seem to be, maybe it was always there, but now it just seems heightened. There's like a heightened awareness of chaos, stupidity, and mayhem. But I feel that even in the midst of all of that, there are still those very solid, pointed, directed, provisioned moments where we know that we've just been blessed and we should recognize it and be grateful. That's that. That's all I got today. See, that live was short, sweet, and easy. Folks, I'm going to throw up the banner here because I can, right? Mañana No Mas, full service agency. If you are not on the Mañana No Mas newsletter, you probably missed the idea that Mañana No Mas actually started a GoFundMe today. Can you believe that? I never thought I would do that, but we did. We started a GoFundMe. We're looking to move the company from California to Kansas. Every time that we have put the ball in motion, every time we have started to move in a certain direction to escape California, there's been this weird octopus effect with California that just a tentacle comes out, grabs us, and brings us back in and tells us we can't leave yet. And I said, you know what? Let's just put it out there. I want to be a positive influence on another community. I want to be able to move Mañana No Mas from an expensive region to operate to a less expensive region to operate. If I take Mañana No Mas at its current level of work now and move it to a cheaper area, say Kansas, all of a sudden that lower expense becomes increased margin, and that increased margin can then be converted into business investment and hiring and providing jobs for others. And I want to grow the team at Mañana No Mas. I'm not going to say as quickly as possible or anything crazy like that. I want it to grow organically, but I want to start adding positions at Mañana No Mas so that I can mentor and bring up a team of other people beneath me. I shouldn't say beneath me. I should say with me, right? Bring up a team with me and then focus on my sweet spots. I talked about sweet spots last week on these lives, right? But I know that I have so much more to offer, but I need that support structure to be able to make that happen, free myself up and work on those offerings. And in order for that to happen, I believe we need to move to a place that has less expenses so I can raise the margins and afford that expansion. So that's what we're looking to do. And quite honestly, every time we try to get out of California, something happens and it just interferes with our ability to escape. We have made up our mind. We are leaving at the end of August. We're leaving in August. And I put up a GoFundMe just to try and get as much help from anyone that's generous enough that wants to assist in that. And if I pull off this GoFundMe and it works, if this GoFundMe account does what I need it to do for me, I got news for you. It won't be my last one. What I'll do after that is I'll just start GoFundMe accounts and pick up sponsored families that have entrepreneur leadership in their home that are looking to move out of California into a more economical free area. You know, it doesn't have to be Kansas. We're choosing Kansas because it's close to family. But, you know, if someone says, hey, I want to take my business from California to Idaho, they'll submit a prospectus to us. We'll take a look at it. We'll see what they need, and we'll create a GoFundMe account and try and make that happen. If it works for me, I'm going to duplicate it for others because I just think that's a cool thing to do for folks. All right. That's that. I didn't see any comments come in today. So if you have any comments, if you have anything you want to share, if you have any questions about what I just said or what I'm doing, feel free to put them in the comments. I'll answer and interact with you there. You can always connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm the only Kurt Von Ahnen on LinkedIn. And I check my Facebook every couple of days or so. So if you want to pop in on there, I'll see you in there. Other than that, thanks for watching.